Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of the Pons Talk. My name is Eleanor from Dulwich College, Suzhou, and I will be your host today. In this podcast series, we will be interviewing Dulwich College International alumni on their personal and professional development, social engagement within the Dulwich College International alumni family, and pioneering change to create positive global impact. Today's guest, dialing in live from Singapore, is Dulwich College Beijing alumni Brian Chu. So, Brian, during your time at Dulwich, what motivated you to become a student leader and what leadership opportunities did you take advantage of?
All right, so first of all, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here and talking to you. I'll start with what things I did in Dulwich. So I joined Dulwich in year 10, took on leadership positions as head boy in the prefectorial team, president of the Interact, and also held leadership positions in the JV football team. Dulwich was a key part in developing myself as a leader, but I don't think that I was always someone that would take the lead. I think especially when I joined Dulwich, it might not have been like my first instinct to take on leadership positions. I would give a lot of credit into the environment that Dulwich created, being very inclusive and very empowering. I think that was an experience that I look back very fondly on.
After you started to take up all of these leadership opportunities at Dulwich, what kind of traits or strengths do you think it helped you develop, and how has it made you into a stronger leader?
I think it's done a few things. Mainly, I think being a leader, one of the things that I learned the most is to try to look at things from multiple perspectives, which I think it's something that as I develop, especially in my IB years, and I've taken that with me as I went into national service, later on into university. Being able, especially being in a Dulwich environment where you have students from different countries, different cultures, different nationalities, being thrown in a situation where, for example, you are considering different points of view, especially I think in the prefect team, understanding where the school leadership's point of view is, how students can see the issue and looking at it from different perspectives and trying to be constructive about the role that we can play. Mm-hmm. I think that was one of the biggest things I've taken away, and especially transitioning into or trying to be proactive as a student, even in my university life. So looking at the issue from different perspectives, that's probably the first thing. Secondly, also I think communicating with your teams. I think being in the environment that you are in Dulwich, you're always thrown in many team situations or practical situations where you have to work and communicate with different people. And so learning how to communicate clearly, efficiently, and to deliver your messages with the most clarity possible, I think that's something that I also take away, especially, and I found it very helpful in my role as student leader later on as well.
Thank you. What university are you currently studying at?
I'm currently studying in Singapore in Nanyang Technological University, majoring in public policy and global affairs.
What kind of leadership opportunities have you been involved in ever since you graduated from Dulwich?
Quite a few, actually. So I guess just looking at the university context, I think the biggest responsibility that I've taken upon was as president of the NTU Students Union, where similar to being a head prefect, I guess, I oversaw large-scale events, welfare initiatives, and worked closely with school senior management to try to improve different aspects of university life for students.
And now that you've become the president of the Worldwide Alumni Advisory Board, could you tell me a bit about what made you want to join the board?
I wanted to get involved in the alumni community because I think one of the things that I found very empowering was reaching out and connecting with other alumni, and especially keeping in touch with my own alumni. My interest is try to keep the community within Dulwich, because I think being an international or third culture kid and transitioning from high school to college or to universities, it's not the easiest process. And so having your peers as a support mechanism is very, very important, especially as we're moving from country to country. That might not be the easiest thing to do. I see the Worldwide Alumni Board, or the Worldwide Alumni Network, as an opportunity sort of to keep this community of like-minded peers together, because I think we are a bit different in terms of our education in Dulwich, in terms of creating leaders for tomorrow and giving students the opportunity to take the lead, to be proactive in different world issues as well. And I think that's something that's very, very different compared to other international schools.
Yeah, I guess with my time here at Dulwich, I really appreciate the sense of community that it has. And it does kind of make me sad that I have to like part from this really loving community after I graduate this year. But I'm really glad that there's this alumni network that's being built at the moment. And I'd like to know a bit more about the board and how it's structured.
So we have a few alumni involved. So firstly, we have Adam, who's the Vice President of Professional Development. So looking at professional opportunities for our alumni, creating opportunities for them to learn about latest industry insights, and finding jobs, information about jobs and the future of work. We also have Vice President of School Engagement, who is Janani. So she'll be working closely with different high schools and different Dulwich schools to try to build relationships between alumni and current students in the different Dulwich schools. And we also have a Vice President of Outreach, who is Rebecca, who will try to create community involvement projects for our alumni to contribute back to the community. And we have a lot more things planned moving forward. Being in a Dulwich community is something that's different and it's very value adding. But to maintain such communities requires commitment and it requires effort. And sometimes it's just schooling together as an alumni and trying to build these connections so we can sustain them over time. Especially something unique about the Dulwich schools is that we have different campuses across the world. Our experiences are similar but unique and special at the same time. So even though we all come from different places in the world, but our Dulwich experiences are in some ways similar but also special in their own ways. And I think that's something that as alumni we can definitely leverage upon.
So, as a president of the board, what is your role and what main activities do you carry out?
I think one of the things that I would most look forward to is creating different opportunities for alumni to network informally, just sort of to catch up in different countries. What we want to do is create, wherever you are in the world, you have sort of like a second home, like a home away from home. I might be Singaporean, but if I'm living in China now, there's an alumni network that I could tap out to, and there's a social network there that I can just plug myself into with people from a similar background. Hopefully what we can do is set up different nodes for people to connect with and really create this community where it's a home away from home, where people can seek comfort in each other and leverage on each other's strengths and try to create an inclusive and empowering environment for everyone to continue to be in, even beyond Dulwich when we graduate.
How else do you think that the alumni board can help alumni through possibly opportunities or making connections in different cities or countries?
Right. So, I think a lot what you will find is a lot of our alumni, they're very distinguished in their own ways and they contribute actively in the community. So as we try to connect different alumni together, what we can do is create this social and professional network where we can learn things off each other, cross industry or within the industry. So for example, if you're graduating and you're going to study business and you require business networks and for business development in the future, this alumni network can allow you to tap on the resources available within the Dulwich network. Maybe you can find a friend from another country, which the platform allows you to do. Filter by different countries, by different locations, by industry, people that are willing to give you advice or people that might just be willing to have a chat. So I think the potential within the network is beyond possibilities. I think what would be really, really exciting is the ability to not just make new friends, but also make professional networking opportunities for people to find jobs, for people to learn more about the industry, so on and so forth.
That sounds really exciting. And I'm really looking forward to being a part of that after I graduate, to still have a part of Dulwich with me, no matter where I am in the world. How do you think that your time and experiences at Dulwich helped prepare you to take on the role as president of the board?
My experiences in the Dulwich community helped me develop a lot of different skill sets. We learned to confront the things that we're not the most comfortable with. And so even, for example, I might not have been the most social in terms of like reaching out to people that I wouldn't find a lot of similarities with. Being in a Dulwich environment, I learned to step beyond that comfort zone and to network with people and to take advantage of the opportunities that are made available to me. In terms of the skill sets that I've learned is something that I've carried out wherever I've gone to. And I think that's my advice to students currently studying now in Dulwich as well. There's so many co-curricular activities that you can sign up for, and everything you do, you learn something from it. It's only when you don't try that you don't learn something from it. You know, even when I was crazy busy in terms of balancing different commitments, say like president of Interact and head boy, and also captain of the swim team all at one go, learning to time manage, learning to know when you're pushing yourself too much over the limit, learning to find time to de-stress and take care of your own mental health. So I think those are things that even as I take on this position now, it's something that I've kept with me. So while I'm balancing schoolwork or my internship, I know how to manage my time so much better than I would if I didn't take on all these opportunities. I've learned to time manage. I've learned to communicate better. I've learned more about myself through this entire process in terms of my strengths in a team environment, what I can contribute, what I can't contribute.
Yeah, and I agree because I think Dulwich provides so many extracurricular opportunities. And beyond that, they even give you many chances to self-start your own clubs based off your own interests. So I'd agree. I think taking up all the opportunities as much as possible.
In fact, that's actually something that every Dulwich student should try to take advantage of to the most of their ability, because what I found after leaving Dulwich, starting an extracurricular activity, while it might be very simple and common in a Dulwich school, it's not common in a lot of other schools.
Oh.
You know, so for example, in Singapore, co-curricular activities that you see is just what you can sign up for, and oftentimes you might even be limited to how many you can join. But there's never such a thing in a Dulwich community. You know, you're given that space to self-explore, to do things that you're passionate about, and to start things, which especially in a 21st century context, you know, in this industry 4.0, where you see more people wanting to be their own boss and starting their own projects and having the entrepreneurial mindset. I think that's something that, you know, when you start your own student club, it might not be something that you see as a very big thing, but that skill set that you take, oh, how do I organize my team? How do I bring people on board the team? Where do I find the funding for that? Those are all little skills that, you know, later on, as you go to university and you want to start something, it's all skills that you take with you.
Yeah. And I think that having like the entrepreneurial skill, creativity, risk taking, it really, having those skills from the opportunities you take up can really differentiate you from other competing applicants and really make you stand out.
Being involved in the community, whichever community that you're in, is the biggest thing that you could do, because not only are you creating a platform for you to contribute back to other people, but everything you do in that process, you learn more about yourself. And so you're not just creating an impact on other people's lives, which I think is always so meaningful. You're also learning more about yourself, and you're also developing yourself both as a person, developing yourself as a human. How can I treat people better? How can I take care of myself better? How can I treat other people that I'm working with better? And I think those are all things that I didn't think I was doing when I was back in Dulwich. But, you know, I think now when I'm in a university setting or I'm about to graduate in like a year or two, I think these are things that set me apart.
So what motivates you to give back and engage with the students across the whole Dulwich family?
Dulwich gave me a platform where I was empowered to learn about myself, to develop myself, and to learn that, you know, it's okay to try something and not be good at it. And I think those opportunities that I had, joining different sports, joining different co-curricular activities or extracurricular activities, I took so much away from that. So for me, it's about trying to contribute back to the environment that has given me so much. Try to give back in terms of the experiences that I have. When you amplify that across the whole Dulwich family, not just Dulwich College, Beijing, for example, where I was from, that's even more meaningful than just contributing to a singular community. And that's an opportunity that you don't get in other international schools or other high schools.
And I think what you're doing is so great. Finding a way to give back and to try to strengthen the Dulwich community, and also to give advice to younger students that they should take up more opportunities. I think looking back to my previous years in Dulwich, I think I should have taken up more opportunities as well. I kind of think it's something that you only realize in retrospect after it has all happened, but Dulwich really does provide a lot of opportunities for self-growth and development. So would you have any advice to give to younger alumni? Like maybe people who have just recently graduated from Dulwich?
I would say I have two pieces of advice. The first one is stay connected with your cohort, your peers in your batch. Try to stay connected with even your seniors and your juniors. And then secondly, keep an open mind and try to contribute back whenever you can, because you never know what opportunities will come up when you're trying to give back to the community.
Thank you. So my final question is, what is your vision for the future of the Worldwide Alumni Network?
This is very ambitious, but my vision in the long term is to create an environment where all Dulwich alumni are connected. And whoever you want to reach out to in the Dulwich family, it's there. Whenever you need advice or you want to get connected to anyone or anywhere, think of doing something, you have all these people and all these resources all available, and all from people that you know or had similar experiences to you from. Hopefully people listening to this, both students and alumni, would find this really meaningful and can contribute and help out as much as possible.
Yeah, and that sounds amazing to me. And I really want to join and be a part of this network. And I'm looking forward to this part after graduation. Thank you so much for coming on today and answering all of these questions. I've learned a lot, and I'm sure the listeners will learn so much more and understand what the Worldwide Alumni Network is all about. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Eleanor. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed the third episode of the Pons Talk. For more information on the Worldwide Alumni Network, please check out our website, alumni.dulwich.org. Stay tuned and looking forward to having you with us next time.